Hi, I'm going to read to you something that I wrote recently, and that is whatever happens in my experience, that is the best thing to happen for me at the time. We all have an energetic filter that surrounds us. And if it came through the filter, that is God, that surrounds me, that only lets in that which is what I am a match to, that could be what I consider to be positive or negative, but no matter what, it's whatever I'm a match to at the time. And knowing that life tilts positive and that all things work together, conspiring for my ultimate good, then whatever makes its way through the filter was allowed there by God. And it is therefore in my best interest to interact with that thing for as long as it is relevant to accomplish why it came in the first place. I am really at my best when I don't concern with needing to know why it came in the first place. Because my faith and trust in the process is so dominant that I don't feel the need to figure it out. As I know I will always be shown the way, and it's always right there for me. I become aware of it as soon as I stop looking for it. I think that's pretty powerful. It really speaks to how nothing is by accident. None of us are a victim. Everything in this experience we have solicited to ourselves. We got the ball rolling in our life prior to coming into this physical experience, prior to our soul incarnating into this physical experience. We chose a theme. We knew that certain elements would be there along the way, and that's a part of our exploration that would therefore be a part of our expansion. It would be there for our soul's expansion at the time. We know that life ultimately tilts positive. If I cut myself, what happens? It heals. There is a filter, if you will, that surrounds, when I say me, I mean all of us, no exception. That filter, you could also look at it as the law of attraction. There are only certain things that can come into your experience, both which you consider to be positive and which you consider to be negative. It's not just that any old thing can come into your experience. You watch the news and that'll frighten the hell out of you, because oftentimes then what our brain does is, oh, that could happen to me. Well, maybe it could happen to you if you are already a match to that sort of thing, meaning that you already have that sort of emotional sort of set point within you that could attract that sort of thing. But some people don't. Some people are going through life and their thoughts, for the most part, are consistently tilting positive. Now, life tilts positive. That's a general. That is a law of the universe that we live in. Your thoughts, though, could tilt negative. And you could, therefore, attract into your experience a lot of what you might call a negative experience. But as soon as you stop doing that, what will happen? Well, just like a cork or something that you can hold under the water, as soon as you stop holding it under the water and resisting and you let go, boop, it bobs right back up to the surface and it's back up there, happy and floating along, because that's the general theme of life. So this filter, what does a filter do? A filter only lets in certain things. Only certain things can make its way through the filter, just depending upon, the size of the whatever you call it. But the filter itself, every filter is a little different. But your filter, only certain things can come in. And anything that comes in, because that filter is, you could say, your protection, or it's what has your experience, keeps your experience relevant. And therefore, anything that makes its way through that filter is a good thing, no matter what it seems like at face value at the time, because it's all a part of your journey. So if it made its way through the filter, which in essence is God, you can look at that filter as being God, because it is. Everything is God, right? And everything is set up in this experience to forward you for your glory. And it's just dependent upon what you do with it. And again, like I've discussed in some prior videos, we as a soul choosing a theme this time around, coming into this time and space reality to explore for the purpose of our soul's expansion, we choose many of the challenges that are there for us as a sort of theme in our experience. At face value, we consider them negative. They are not negative. You don't even need to say they're positive. They are simply what they are. They are perfect. They are perfect, they're whole, they're complete, because they were chosen and put there by you. And then as you come into this experience and you go along, you are constantly reassessing and amending. And, even if you chose a theme coming in, that's like a set point. That's to get the ball rolling. And likely because of momentum, things tend to carry on kind of more of the same. But you can absolutely, if in this experience you want to change your theme, you can absolutely do that. Now that will take some, reaching and some focus, and that's a good thing, because when we focus, we literally summon life force energy through us. We literally summon God through us. That's why a lot of the time people say they found God in their worst situation. It's because it took that to get a certain type of focus coming through them. And when they are focusing in that intent sort of way, you're summoning more life force energy through you, and it becomes more obvious. That which you call God becomes more obvious. It's flowing through you all the time, but in those moments, you're really paying attention. And so, just reading through this briefly, just to see if there's anything else I want to expand on. Yeah, and then, getting to the place whereby you've had enough life experience that you can see that you don't necessarily, although it can be interesting to figure out, we love to figure out, we're detectives, and just the kind of the way our society goes, we are kind of encouraged to always know why. Why is it like this and why is it like that? So we like to always know, why is it going this way? Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's best to know why it's going this way or the way it's going, because if you don't know why you do something, oftentimes you'll be kind of willy-nilly all over the place with it, and then there can't be a whole lot of deliberate creating going on by you. So there is definitely value in that. And then, there are many ages and stages or levels that, you will go through. Where I'm currently at is, and it's not this way all the time, but a lot of the time now it's that regardless of what's taking place, I don't find that I need to know. And a lot of the times I don't care to know why it's taking place. As in, because I don't need to wreck my brain with, I need to figure this out, because oftentimes that's coming from a place of, because I want to make it go away and I want to keep this sort of thing at bay so it doesn't happen again. When you get to the point where you realize that anything that is happening in your experience is happening for you, it is just that way. It's just the way that this experience, this particular life experience that we're all here exploring, it's the way that it's set up. You don't have to like it or not. You don't have to like gravity. Well, it's not going to change for you. Gravity is gravity, and it is a part of this experience, and it's there serving its purpose. And, it must be a good thing, because we all collectively chose this experience when we come in. So we knew from that broader perspective that we had coming in which we know everything, we saw everything, we've forgotten. That's a part of the experience. When we come in, we forget. And then the part of that process is the remembering, and as we remember, we come, as we like to call it, closer to God, as in we're remembering our true self. because we are all God. Everything is. So this is the experience of God having forgotten itself and then, going on the journey of remembering itself. And as it remembers itself, it becomes fuller and fuller and more of itself. Each time, each go around through every point of consciousness having that sort of experience. So when you get to the point where you don't need to know why it's happening, you simply know it's happening. And you can be glad about it because you know it's conspiring for your good. It's conspiring for your best interest. It's to help you to get from where you currently are to where you have shown life that you ultimately want to be. I know I've repeated that a lot of times, in many different videos that I've done now. I just think that is so important because that's what this is all about. And that's what we seem to care so much about because that's why we're here. We came forth to peruse and to decide on, wow, that's great. But you know what? It could be a heck of a lot better that way. And then, you can't look at, enough enjoyable or entertaining things enough for that to make your life satisfying ultimately. No, you got to be involved in that. You got to have your hands in the clay. You got to be in the mix of something that you are molding and mending into, the next best version of itself, whether it be something that you've joined on somebody else's project or it's your own seemingly personal project that you came up with. I mean, it's never really that you independently came up with something because where did the ideas come from anyway? Do you know what I mean? They're always, you're picking up on what's in the collective mix. They're being flowed to you from non-physical, non-physical energies that have also had similar experiences in their lives, let's say in past, and still have a vested interest in that sort of thing. They are and you could might as well call that God, flowing all that information to you and inspiring you, and then you're off and running. It's all a co-creative process, this thing called life. And so when you get to the point where you don't need to know why. You just, that's what's there now. Oh, so that's what's so, and then that's what's therefore to deal with. And not deal with it as, I got to deal with this thing, but to actually be curious. I wonder what this is about. I don't need to figure it out, but I'm curious to see how this will turn out. I'm curious to see how this is going to forward me in some way that, down the track, I'm going to look back in hindsight and see how that has expanded me in my own personage and made me so much better. And I'm now going to get to take that, extract all the joy or all of the knowledge and the know-how and just the enlightenment that came through it and get to impart that now and use that moving forward in the rest of my life. It's always that way, isn't it? I mean, as you look back on your life, this is not a lesson. You're not being punished. You're not here to learn stuff. It's valuable. It's here for your expansion. It's here for you to take the joy of the knowing that something is not how you prefer it to be, and seeing what it is that you prefer, and learning how to manipulate energy, which is how to work with your thoughts, which is definitely not to be worrying about it and why is it so and all of this, but really getting to a place where you just allow it all in. Because it's all God. It's all coming through God. It's all happening for a purpose. And those really horrific things that are really hard to look at, you can assume that your soul or that person's soul, that collective group's soul, they knew prior to coming into this physical realm that that was going to happen, that that was going to be a part of their experience, and it is going to forward something that is going to be monumentous, that is going to help to shift and expand consciousness to a place that it has never been before, and that consciousness has been asking for. Because we are always asking for the next on the next on the next. We are never satisfied with things just as they are. And we will never be. And anybody that tells you, you're suffering because you have desire, I encourage you not to listen to that, because, that flies in the face of eternity. What puts the eternal in eternity is expansion. And how is expansion not going to be there if there's not desire of something to then have the impetus to then be expanded upon? right? So it's just getting to that place where, you know, we know that it's all right there and it's all working for us. And if it's not showing up that way, if it doesn't occur for us, it's just because we've not had the enlightenment moment or the aha moment, the hindsight moment yet of how that's so. But that doesn't mean it's not there. It's always there. There's never a time otherwise, because nothing is ever happening that's not happening for you. And nothing is ever happening to you that you have not attracted in some way. Because again, this is not an experience of victimhood. This is not an experience of, you know, of things being asserted into your experience. It's all being you soliciting it unto yourself. It's all attraction, attraction, attraction. And so therefore you ought to be happy about it, because it's there for some good reason, to get something going in your life, to get you from where you currently are to where you've shown life that you ultimately want to be. And life or God or the universe has chosen that detail as the path of least resistance for you to get you there, because it can see for you that you will have the least amount of resistance around that thing, or you will focus more through that thing. You will take that thing on more so, I don't want to say seriously, but you know, you will pay attention through that thing, and then that will get you there. You know, it's all working for you. And then, yeah, you know, as soon as you stop looking for it, as soon as you stop needing to know why or needing to know the answers, it'll be right there. Haven't you had that experience when you're looking for something, when you got to find your keys or you got to find something, you can't find it for anything. But as soon as you don't need it anymore, as soon as you're not looking for it anymore, boop, it's right there. And it was right there all along. It was right there in front of your eyes all along. You just weren't, you know, you were so wrapped up in resistance and belief that, you know, it's not there and you can't find it. Well, then that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If that's your belief, then that's what's gonna play out. You know, you always get what you really believe at the end of the day. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you take some value out of that. And if you did get some value out of that, you know, please share that with me. I would love to know about it. And you can do that by giving this video a thumbs up. Just click that icon. And as well, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And that'll let you know when I post more of these videos. And please consider sharing this with really anybody. I think it can make a difference for anybody, and certainly for anybody that you think it would make a real difference for. And I will see you later. I'll see you down the road. Bye.